friends, welcome back, or welcome if you're new here. My name is Stacy and I am the Chapter Conundrum. And just first off, before we get going, excuse my voice because I'm just getting over the flu, and I'm sure you can hear it that I'm still a bit congested and just like don't quite sound right. So I've got some tea with honey and we're just rolling with it. I'm on like day 10, I think, right now. And I am so over it and just ready to be feeling 100% better, but I at least am feeling a lot better than I was in the early days. And anyways, today we're here to talk about my February TBR, so all the books I plan to read this month. And remember how in January's TBR I said, oh, in 2025 we're gonna have less rollovers. Yeah, no. Coming down with the flu definitely, changed my January reading plans. I did still read some when I was sick, but just not nearly as much as I wanted to be. So I'm taking it as a win that I still did some reading. But yeah, we definitely have some rollovers on this TBR. In my defense, though, I am 200 pages into the first one, and that is Lies of Loch Lamora by Scott Lynch, the first book in the Gentleman Bastard series. This is a reread for me, and it's our fantasy read-along on the Bookish Drummer Discord. So I also have to get to the sequel, Red Seas Under Red Skies, this month, and I am excited to finally read this and continue on with the series after finishing my reread of this. The next thing I have to roll over here is Goldfinch by Raven Kennedy, the sixth and final book in the Plated Prisoner series. And I have been meaning to get to this. I even started it, I think, at the end of last month. I got like 70 pages in, but I just didn't have time to pick it up and carry on this month. But February, I'm going to make it happen. And future Stacy, if you don't make this happen, what the heck are you doing, girl? So another book that, in my defense, I have already started that I'm carrying over is The Trial of Rooker Flynn, the second book in the Locke Institute trilogy by A.R. Witham. And I had an e-arc of this, but it's now since released. I believe it released yesterday on the 31st. And I still haven't finished it. So I need to finish it and get on reviewing it already. From what I have read so far, I'm really enjoying it. And I am excited to see where the story takes us. And then the last book that I was really supposed to read in January that I didn't quite get to is The City of Brass. But thankfully, this is a buddy read with our mod, Pat Sava, over on our Discord. And he actually hasn't gotten to it yet either. So I don't feel quite so bad that I still haven't gotten there. I will be getting there this week, though, because I do have a library loan of the audio. And I'm pretty sure it only lasts for the rest of this week. So I'll definitely make it happen. Next up, let's get into some of the new read-along books I'm adding for February. So we've already mentioned Red Seas Under Red Skies, which is our fantasy read-along over on the Discord. But another fantasy read-along I've started is Faithful and the Fallen with Faith Follow Along, which is Becca and the Book's Catch-Up Book Club series. So the live show for Valor, I believe, is going to be in early March, which means I probably want to get this going in February. I may not finish it this month, but if I get at least halfway through it this month, then I'll be happy. And then, of course, on the Bookish Drummer Discord, we have a couple other read-alongs that we always do. One is Thrill, Chill, or Kill. That is our thriller or horror book club book. And for the month of February, that is Beautiful Ugly by Alice Feeney. This is a new release that just came out mid-January, and I have previously enjoyed a lot of Alice Feeney books, so I am excited to see what this one holds. I don't really know a ton about it. I think I've heard the synopsis once, but I honestly couldn't even tell you much about what it's about because I don't remember. But I am excited to get to this and see how it compares to her other books. Next up, we have the John Mars Book Club book, and February is our first universe book by him. So we're diving into a sci-fi thriller, and it's going to be The One. And this will actually be a reread for me. I think this was the first John Mars book I ever read, and I didn't love it. But my tastes have changed since then, and I'm curious to see if I go into it kind of like knowing more what it's about and what to expect, if I end up finding a bit more enjoyment in it this time. But even if not, it's going to be fun to join in the discussion with everyone else. And I am excited to get other people's reactions to this story for sure. So that was it for the read-along books that I've committed to. But there is one other book I definitely want to get to in the month of February just on my own, and that, of course, is Jade War. I recently reread Jade City so that I could continue on with the series, so I definitely want to make sure I'm getting to the sequel in a timely manner while I'm still remembering everything. And then I do have a few other books kind of in a separate category that I'm not promising to get to in February, but that I'm hoping to read at least one of in February. And if I don't get to it in February, it should happen in March. And that is books that Ian over at Ian the Reader chose for me to read. So I don't know if you've been following on his channel. There have been some segments where Jake and I have chosen books for him to read, and it was kind of a competition to see who could pick better books for him. But kind of once that competition was all wrapped up and over, Jake and I decided, hey, it would be fun to have Ian choose some books for us to read that he thinks that we're going to enjoy, since he has such a good idea of what our tastes are now that he's read so many of our favorites. And so I'll link in the cards the video where he reveals what books he chose for Jake and I to read. And I'm happy to report I did read one of them in January and I enjoyed it. You'll have to watch my January wrap up to find out more about that. But I do still have 3 books remaining on that TBR that I'd like to get to soon. And the first one of those is Shutter Island by Dennis Lehane. And this is just a kind of a bonus pick that I threw in because in the beginning of the video with Ian, he asked what we thought maybe he would choose for us, and I had this as a potential, and he instantly regretted not putting it on the list, so I said, okay, I'm gonna add it as a bonus. But yeah, it was funny. If you haven't seen that part of the video, definitely go check it out. But then the other 2 picks that made his list that I still haven't gotten to yet are Pines by Blake Crouch and The Will of the Many by James Islington. And Pines I'm looking forward to. I have previously read and enjoyed, I think, 3 other Blake Crouch books, so I'm curious to get into more of his kind of like thriller-esque type stuff instead of his sci-fi, which I've read. And then The Will of the Many is a 5-star prediction for me and has been for a while. I just haven't gotten there yet. So I'm excited to have a bit of a push to get there and hopefully enjoy it. So that was it for all the books I plan to read in the month of February. Now, I will caveat that at the end of this month, I will be at my sister's. And knowing that, and knowing that I'm flying this time and that I'm probably just going to stick to a carry-on, I may not have room in my luggage for extra physical books. And so we'll just kind of see how everything plays out. There is definitely some potential for me to prioritize some more of my digital reads in that time period, and hopefully I can get to everything else before that trip. But as January has taught me, you never know, even when you have the best laid plans and intentions and are really on it at the start of the month. So let me know down below in the comments what books are on your February TBR that you're excited to get to. Are you joining in on any of the read-alongs or buddy reads that I'm taking part in as well? Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe on your way out if you want to, and have a great day. Bye!